Okay, first I'm going to show you how to cut out the rabbit ears. Now the best thing to do with the 9 by 13 cake, which you're going to use for your rabbit ears, is freeze it first. At this point we've already shaved off the curvy top to the cake, flipped it over, and frozen it. So this cake is pretty firm. It's easier to cut that way. You don't have it crumbling and kind of falling apart. So usually if I have to cut any pieces, I do it when it's frozen for just a few hours. It doesn't have to freeze overnight or anything. So then you use your template. This is my bunny ear. So I'm going to do 2 ears with the same template. So you just do one this way, and then you're going to flip it over and do the other this way. Now when you're cutting, you just want to go straight up and down motion. All the way around your template, and then once you have done that, then you're going to just flip it over and do the other side. This one, you'll notice at the bottom I have just a little bit of an angle, and that's because they'll go to the 2 sides of the bunny's head. So that's why you want to flip it over, so that the angle works for each one of those sides. And then once you've cut out both of your rabbit ears, you just peel away all the extra cake and it'll look a little something like this. So now that our bunny ears are cut out, what we're going to do is just lift each of these rabbit ears off of this tray I have them on, and just bring them over and put one on either side of the bunny head. You'll probably get a little bit of crumb on your actual tray here. That's okay. I usually just use like a pastry brush and just kind of sweep those away. So that's no big deal at all. Once you've got your bunny piece together, then you're going to do your crumb coat first. A crumb coat is basically just a thin layer of frosting that'll seal in any crumbs, and then that way when you put on the top layer of frosting, it'll look nice and smooth. When you put on a crumb coat, you don't need to be all that tidy about it. You just kind of slap it on there and spread it around. If it has little crumb bits in it like this does, that's totally fine, because once you do the crumb coat, you'll chill the cake so that it gets kind of firm frosting wise, and then you'll do another layer of frosting on top, which will be much more polished looking. And through the magic of digital, you can see that I have the crumb coat finished now. It'll go in the freezer for 2 or 3 hours until the frosting is firm. Once it's firm, then we'll take it out and be ready to decorate it. So I've gone ahead now and frosted the face and ears, and then did the coconut around the white part of the ears, around the face. Now normally I would do coconut all across the face once I'd actually drawn in the face itself. However, I have a daughter that doesn't like coconut, so I promised her I'd leave part of the cake so that she could eat some of it. Anyway, so I'm going to just put on the nose and then pipe in the face. The nose itself is pretty small, just like a little kind of triangle type thing in the middle of the face. And once you put it on, you're just going to kind of smooth it out like this. And then once that is finished, you're going to go ahead and pipe on the face. Now for the face, you're going to outline the eyes, eyebrows, whiskers, that sort of thing. So for that, you put your frosting in your piping bag like this. Make sure you get as much air bubble out as you can. I usually have a plate handy and I just kind of do a little line, make sure that it's not shooting out a bunch of air, that kind of thing, before I actually start piping on the cake. So once I've done that, you're going to want to tuck the top of the bag into your hand so that you can make sure you're not dragging it across the cake. And then you're going to just go ahead and do some whiskers on him. And then again on the other side. And of course the neighbor dogs want to bark. I've got the back door to the backyard open behind me because the natural light is just terrible in this room today. It's not a terribly sunny day. So once you've got your whiskers on there, you can go ahead and pipe in the eye. For that, you're going to just do like so. Make sure you get your air out periodically. And then go ahead and do the other one. Like that. You're also going to do some eyebrows on him, which you can do, you know, however you like, but I usually just do something kind of simple, like that. Then bring it over here and do something similar to this side over here. Now, for the eyes, I'm going to be putting in some blue for the eyes, and then I'll do pupils black after that. So I'm not going to do the pupils just yet. And then the last thing I'm going to do before I go to do the eye color is just pipe the little mouth kind of thing for the rabbit. And that you just kind of can do however you like. And at this point, we're pretty ready for the eye color. So we'll do that next. Okay, I just went ahead and did the blue part of the eyes, just using a butter knife really, just to spread some frosting there. And then finally the pupils, and for that I'm going to pipe with the bag again. If you've never piped with a bag, it's good to practice a little first. If you just have a little plate or something next to you or a piece of foil, practice on that first. That way if you mess up, you can reuse the frosting. And then once you kind of have the hang of it, basically you just have to twist it, roll it tight, make sure there's no air bubbles. It's not difficult. If I can do it, trust me, you can do it. But anyway, for that, for the eye, then we're just going to do a little bit of a pupil here. So I'm first going to pipe this in, and then I'll just use one of my, you can use either like a butter knife, or if you have some tools for frosting cakes, which I happen to have. I'll try to remember to put a link for some of those on the blog because they're sort of nice to have. But a butter knife usually works pretty well for smoothing it too if you just dip it in a little hot water, which I think I showed you earlier. Anyway, but these last little, I'm doing this standing up, which is a little challenging, but you get the idea. Anyway, all right. So then once we've got that done, we can just use our butter knife again and just sort of flatten it out a little bit so it doesn't look like a little mountain peak. And again, you could pipe these eyes if you really wanted to, but I'll be honest, even though I decorate cakes several times a year for kids' birthdays and stuff, it's not really my favorite thing. I like to make cake. Decorating, not so much. Mostly because my hand is not as steady as I would like, probably. But I do think that this is a pretty fun one that's super easy. And then at the end, once you have your face on here, you can just do just like a little coconut. I'm not going to do very much because, like I said, my one daughter is not a huge coconut fan, even though the rest of us like it quite a bit. Anyway, so something like this. That's what it looks like when it's finished. I did do one other bunny cake last year. That one had a little bow necktie too, so I'll try to get that posted on the blog post as well, so you can see kind of some different ways of doing it. Anyway, that is basically how you do it. If you like this video, please be sure to like it, share it, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you at Life Between the Kitchen and the Coop.